On the edge of the galaxy, the research vessel Aurora drifted silently through a field of distant stars. The hum of its engines was the only sound in the vast emptiness outside, a soft vibration that echoed through the sleek metallic corridors. Captain Elena Reyes leaned against the rail of the observation deck, her eyes scanning the colorful nebula ahead. She had seen many wonders in her career, but this one, an anomaly that distorted space itself, was unlike anything she had ever encountered. "Reports indicate unusual energy readings, Captain," said Dr. Soren, the ship's chief scientist, his voice calm but tinged with excitement. "If my instruments are correct, this phenomenon is bending the very fabric of space in ways we've only theorized." Elena turned to him, curiosity sharpening her gaze. Humans had always been explorers, and yet even she felt a shiver of awe. "You're saying this isn't just a gravity wave or a magnetic fluctuation?" she asked. "No, ma'am," Soren replied. "This is something entirely new. And it's intelligent." The words hung in the air. Humans had always been adaptable, resourceful, and resilient, but to confront something intelligent that defied known physics was a challenge even for them. As they approached the anomaly, the bridge crew noticed subtle shifts in their instruments. Lights flickered momentarily, screens displayed readings that seemed to defy logic, and yet no one panicked. Elena admired how humans could remain calm under pressure, a trait that had kept her species alive when countless others had fallen. "Prepare the probe," she ordered. "We need eyes on this." The probe was sleek, equipped with sensors capable of reading electromagnetic fluctuations, gravitational waves, and even minute changes in energy patterns. As it moved closer to the anomaly, a strange sensation seemed to ripple through the ship. Crew members described a tingling feeling, almost like static electricity, spreading through their hands when they touched the walls. Soren frowned at the readings. "It's interacting with the probe differently than predicted. It's reacting to us, to our presence." Elena's eyebrows rose. "You mean it knows we're here?" "It appears so," Soren replied. "And not just that, it seems to be testing us." A murmur ran through the crew. They were trained to expect the unexpected, but the idea of a conscious force, something that could sense them, was unprecedented. The probe suddenly sent back an image unlike anything the sensors had recorded before. Swirling patterns of light, shifting shapes and colors that didn't exist in any human spectrum. The anomaly seemed alive, almost sentient but completely alien. "Captain," Soren said, voice tight with excitement, "whatever this is, it's studying us as much as we're studying it." Elena nodded. Humanity had a way of facing the unknown with a mixture of curiosity and courage that no other species possessed. While alien civilizations often relied on rigid protocols or sheer strength, humans explored, adapted, and learned. That instinct curiosity was why they survived, and perhaps why they thrived in a galaxy that didn't always welcome them. The anomaly pulsed, and for a brief instant, every crew member felt a gentle, almost comforting pressure on their minds. A thought passed through all of them, not in words but in understanding. "We are aware. Show us what you are." It was startling. No human had ever experienced direct communication with an intelligent cosmic entity before, and yet, instead of fear, there was fascination. Elena felt her pulse quicken with anticipation. "We respond," she said quietly, almost to herself. "We want to understand." "Be careful," Soren warned. "We don't know its intentions. It could be testing our limits." Limits. That was an interesting concept to humans. Many alien species could not endure mental or emotional stress in the ways humans could. Humans could adapt, think creatively, and maintain focus even under impossible pressure. That resilience was a trait that had been honed over millennia, from surviving harsh environments on Earth to exploring hostile planets. Elena gave the order to transmit a simple pulse of energy toward the anomaly, modulated with a pattern designed by the ship's AI to signify peaceful intent. The lights on the bridge dimmed slightly as the energy traveled through space, and then, without warning, the anomaly reacted. Colors shifted violently, shapes twisted in ways that made the crew blink in disbelief, and a low hum resonated through the hull. The sensation on their minds intensified, but instead of pain, it brought clarity. Each crew member suddenly saw patterns in the anomaly, understanding its logic in ways that felt intuitive rather than learned. "It's responding to our consciousness," Soren whispered. "It's like it can feel thought itself." Elena smiled, a mixture of pride and awe. This was what humans did best: connection, adaptation, understanding. While other species might be limited to physical or mechanical interactions, humans could reach across barriers, intellectual, emotional, even psychic, and make contact. The anomaly shifted again, this time forming a shape that resembled a massive, radiant hand stretching toward the probe. The crew held their breath. This was a gesture, an invitation perhaps. Elena stepped closer to the console, heart racing. "Prepare to engage directly," she said. "We need to see if it can understand us fully. If it can, it will recognize something unique in humanity." Soren hesitated, then nodded, initiating direct interface. The probe extended a delicate filament, connecting with the anomaly's energy. The bridge lights flared, and for a moment, every human aboard felt a deep, almost physical connection with the entity. Thoughts, feelings, memories, they weren't shared in a chaotic flood but gently, as if the anomaly respected their boundaries. And then came the revelation. In a voice that wasn't a voice, in a sensation that wasn't quite thought, the anomaly expressed wonder. "No creature has ever interacted this way. None could endure the test unless you are human." The words, or their equivalent, resonated in every mind aboard the Aurora. Shock rippled through the crew. They had expected curiosity, maybe even caution, but awe, recognition. Something inside them swelled with pride, the kind that only humans could feel when confronted with an acknowledgement of their potential. Elena looked around the bridge at her crew, all wide-eyed and silent. "It knows," she whispered. "It knows we're human." The anomaly pulsed once more, then receded slightly, as if allowing them space. It had offered a challenge, and humanity, as always, had faced it with courage, intellect, and creativity. The moment was not dangerous, yet it had tested them in a way no alien force ever had. Humans had endured not by strength, but by understanding, connection, and the unique capacity to adapt. "Captain," Soren said finally, voice trembling with excitement, "this could change everything. First contact, but unlike anything we imagined. We didn't just survive its test. We impressed it." Elena exhaled, feeling the weight of their achievement. "Prepare the full analysis," she said. "This is just the beginning. Whatever this anomaly is, it's about to become the greatest lesson in the galaxy about humans." Outside, the stars continued their silent journey, oblivious to the small ship that had just proven humanity's extraordinary place in the universe. The Aurora drifted onward, carrying the first human souls to touch the mind of something beyond comprehension, and emerge, unbroken, unshaken, and understood. The anomaly pulsed again, almost like a heartbeat, and in that rhythm the crew sensed a promise. There were more tests, more discoveries, and perhaps more recognition waiting in the vast reaches of space. Humanity had always been explorers. And now, the universe knew just how extraordinary they were. The Aurora drifted slowly through the sparkling void, the anomaly still pulsing in the distance like a living beacon. Captain Elena Reyes stood at the observation deck, her eyes tracing the swirling lights. The sensation that had passed through the ship in their first encounter lingered, a soft hum against her mind, like a memory of a dream she could not fully grasp. "Captain, the anomaly is emitting a new sequence of signals," Dr. Soren said, approaching with a tablet in hand. The glow from the screen reflected on his glasses, highlighting the mixture of excitement and uncertainty in his expression. "It's as if it's trying to communicate again. But this time, it feels more structured, more deliberate. Elena leaned over the railing, her mind alive with possibilities. Humans had always been curious, always hungry for discovery. That trait had carried them across oceans, through deserts, into space itself. And now, facing something entirely alien, they were once again the first to reach out. "Let's prepare the translator," she said. "We need to understand what it wants." The crew gathered around the central console. Lieutenant Kaido, the ship's communications officer, tapped rapidly at the interface. "I'm building a translation matrix based on the patterns it used before," he explained. "It's not language, not exactly. More like sequences of energy, rhythms that carry meaning." "Humans are good at patterns," Soren said quietly. "We see structure in chaos. Other species might fail at this, but we can adapt." Elena nodded, feeling that familiar sense of pride that humans carried, a quiet but powerful recognition of their own strengths. They were not the strongest in the galaxy, nor the fastest, but they understood, learned, and adapted. And now, that adaptability would be tested once again. As the translator finished processing, the anomaly pulsed. The lights on the bridge dimmed slightly, and every crew member felt the same tingling sensation they had felt before, though stronger this time. The ship seemed alive, vibrating with anticipation. A series of patterns flashed across the main screen, synchronized with the pulses of the anomaly. Kaido's fingers flew over the console, deciphering the sequences. Slowly, a message emerged: observe, engage, show understanding. Elena's heart raced. This was a direct invitation. The anomaly wanted them to participate, to demonstrate what humans could do, not just survive, but comprehend and respond. "Captain, it's testing us again," Soren said. "And I think this time it's more personal." "Personal?" Elena asked. "Yes," Soren said. "The first test was about endurance, mental and emotional resilience. This one is about interaction, creativity. It wants to see if humans can engage with it in ways no other species could." Elena took a deep breath. This was humanity's strength. Humans thrived on challenges, on puzzles that others could not solve. They could think abstractly, improvise, and connect ideas in ways that rigid species could not. This anomaly had recognized that already. Now, it wanted proof. "Let's begin," she said. "Prepare the probe for direct interaction." The probe extended a delicate filament once again, reaching toward the anomaly. But this time, instead of sending just data, Soren instructed the AI to overlay complex sequences of light and sound, designed to simulate human problem-solving strategies. They were patterns that represented logic, emotion, art, and music, all aspects of human understanding. The anomaly responded immediately. Colors shifted and danced, forming shapes that seemed to echo human creativity. A soft hum resonated through the ship, and the crew felt a subtle sense of connection. It was as if the anomaly were reaching for the core of what made humans human, their curiosity, imagination, and empathy. "Look at that," Kaido whispered. It's mirroring our signals but enhancing them." Soren's eyes widened. "It's learning from us." Not just observing, learning. Elena watched, fascinated. Humans had always excelled in situations that required adaptation and creativity. When faced with impossible odds, they found solutions others could not see. And now an alien intelligence was witnessing that capability firsthand. Suddenly, the patterns shifted again, forming shapes that resembled natural Earth phenomena: mountains, rivers, storms, forests, all depicted in glowing, flowing light. The anomaly was asking them to recognize life itself, not as raw data, but as beauty, complexity, and balance. Soren's voice trembled slightly. "It wants us to show it what life means, what humans can understand and preserve." Elena stepped closer to the console. "Prepare a simulation," she said. "Something that represents Earth's ecosystems, our achievements, and the ways we've learned to live with nature. It needs to see us as caretakers and learners, not just explorers. The crew worked swiftly, feeding data into the AI to generate the holographic projection. Rivers meandered through valleys, trees swayed in winds simulated with precise physics, and the glowing orb of Earth hovered in the center, vibrant and alive. The anomaly pulsed, and the entire bridge felt a wave of resonance, as if it were absorbing and appreciating every detail. "Captain," Kaido said, voice filled with wonder, "it's responding with patterns I can't even describe. It's smiling, I think." Elena smiled back, feeling a warmth that had nothing to do with the ship's systems. Humans had a way of reaching out, of showing themselves fully and honestly, and it worked again. The anomaly, whatever it was, recognized them as something extraordinary. But then the sensation changed. The hum became more intense, almost like a heartbeat. The lights shifted rapidly, forming a tunnel of swirling colors. The anomaly was inviting them, no, challenging them, to step further, to engage directly beyond the probe, into the space where their minds and creativity could fully interact. "Captain," Soren said, eyes wide, "it wants direct mental engagement. Something no other species could do. It wants a human mind fully present." Elena exchanged a glance with her crew. There was no fear here, only anticipation. Humans had always faced challenges that others deemed impossible. This was no different. "Very well," she said. "Prepare the neural interface. Let's show it who we are." The crew donned their neural link helmets, devices that allowed them to project thought, memory, and creativity directly into a shared digital environment. As soon as they activated the link, a sensation of floating overcame them. The bridge disappeared, replaced by a vast, infinite space of light and color. It was the anomaly's domain, a world that existed beyond the physical, a place of pure energy and thought. The anomaly pulsed in response, and for the first time the humans felt true communication. Not words, not symbols, but understanding itself. It asked questions in the form of patterns, and the humans answered with flashes of memory, emotion, and imagination. They showed it Earth, the rise of cities, the beauty of forests, the complexity of human relationships, the creativity of art and music. They demonstrated empathy, humor, curiosity, all the qualities that define their species. And the anomaly responded in ways that were both mesmerizing and affirming. It was a test, yes, but it was also a recognition. Humans had a resilience and depth that no other species possessed. They could endure, adapt, and create meaning in ways that the anomaly had never witnessed before. Hours, or perhaps minutes, for time felt different here, passed in this shared space. Then slowly, the humans were brought back to the bridge, their minds buzzing with the memory of the experience. The anomaly's pulses had slowed, but they were steady and warm, like a silent acknowledgement of respect. Soren removed his helmet, voice shaky with awe. It's amazed. Every other species would have failed at this or ignored the subtleties. Humans are exceptional." Elena nodded, feeling the truth of his words deep in her chest. They had not fought with weapons, nor relied on strength. They had simply been human, curious, adaptive, empathetic, and creative. And in doing so, they had passed a test no one else could even attempt. The anomaly pulsed one last time, projecting a form that resembled a bridge between worlds, a symbol of connection, understanding, and mutual respect. It had accepted them, not as conquerors or intruders, but as equals in intelligence and ingenuity. "Prepare a detailed record," Elena said. "The galaxy needs to know that humans can engage with forces beyond comprehension and succeed. Not through violence, not through power, but through thought, understanding, and creativity." As the Aurora drifted away from the anomaly, the crew felt a renewed sense of purpose. Humanity had always been explorers, but now they had proven something even more profound. Their minds, their creativity, and their resilience were gifts that could resonate across the universe itself. Outside, the stars shimmered, indifferent yet welcoming. Somewhere in that vast expanse, an intelligence beyond imagination had recognized humans for what they truly were. And that recognition, pure, unearned, and awe-inspiring, was a promise that their journey had only just begun. Elena gazed at the nebula ahead, determination burning in her eyes. "Whatever comes next," she whispered, "we're ready, because we're human." And that is something no one else can replicate. The Aurora continued to glide through the silent expanse of space, carrying its human crew deeper into the unknown. Though the anomaly had recognized them, the sense of wonder on the bridge was now mixed with cautious curiosity. Humanity had faced tests before, but this was unlike any challenge in recorded history. Every pulse from the anomaly was not just an interaction. It was an invitation to learn, to grow, and perhaps to surprise even themselves. Captain Elena leaned against the observation deck railing, eyes tracing the swirling patterns of distant stars. The memory of the anomaly's last interaction lingered in her mind, a faint echo of colors, rhythms, and intelligence far beyond human comprehension. For the first time, she truly understood the meaning of being extraordinary, not through force, not through domination, but through understanding, creativity, and adaptation. "Captain," Dr. Soren said, breaking her contemplation, "I've been analyzing the last neural link session. The anomaly isn't just intelligent, it's evolving based on our input. Every thought, every creative demonstration we shared, it's learning from us. It's like it's improving itself." Elena turned, eyes narrowing with a mix of excitement and caution. "Improving itself. That sounds risky." "Not necessarily dangerous," Soren replied, "but unlike anything we've ever studied. Other species might panic or fail completely when confronted with this level of complexity. Humans, we can navigate it, we adapt, we think differently." Elena felt a swell of pride. Humanity had always excelled in unexpected challenges. Other species might rely on sheer power, rigid protocols, or instinct, but humans had curiosity, creativity, and ingenuity. That had been their greatest strength since the first steps on Earth, and now it had carried them across galaxies, to the very edge of intelligence itself. The anomaly pulsed again, brighter this time, sending ripples across the bridge. The crew could feel it even through the hull. Kaido's hands hovered over the console. "It's signaling us," he said, voice tense with anticipation. "Not just messages, something more. It's asking us to step forward, deeper into its realm." Elena took a deep breath. "Prepare the neural interface again. But this time, we need to be ready for anything. It's testing not just our minds, but our capacity to explore, understand, and connect." The crew donned their helmets once more. As soon as the link activated, the bridge vanished, replaced by a vast expanse of color, light, and movement. It was more vivid than before, more complex. Structures of unimaginable geometry hovered in the void, shifting and recombining as if alive. Energy flowed like rivers through the space, forming intricate webs that the humans could perceive and interpret. The anomaly's presence was overwhelming but not frightening. It was a puzzle, a test, and a teacher all at once. Humans had an uncanny ability to embrace such challenges, to find patterns where others would see chaos. They moved through the environment, exploring its possibilities, mapping its flow, and interacting with its energy forms. Dr. Soren's thoughts projected holographic symbols, each representing a scientific principle, a theory, or a hypothesis about the anomaly. The anomaly responded instantly, transforming the projections into dynamic, evolving structures. It was as if it were conversing in a language humans could barely grasp, yet intuitively understood. Lieutenant Kaido extended his mental projection, simulating a sequence of logic puzzles designed to test the anomaly's problem-solving capacity. The patterns shifted and merged into new configurations, as though the anomaly were playing along, not competing but collaborating. Elena realized what was happening. This wasn't just a test of endurance or creativity. It was an experiment in cooperation, in understanding the limits and potential of human intelligence. And humans, with their ability to think abstractly, empathize, and adapt, were excelling. Hours, or what felt like hours in the anomaly's realm, passed as they explored. The anomaly began presenting scenarios, challenges that tested perception, creativity, and empathy. One simulation recreated an entire alien ecosystem, asking the humans to predict its responses to various changes. Another recreated human social dynamics, asking them to navigate complex relationships and decisions, teaching the anomaly about morality, ethics, and intuition. Through it all, humans thrived. Other species, the anomaly had said, could not endure such tests without breaking down or failing to comprehend the nuances. Humans, however, approached each challenge with curiosity and courage. They learned quickly, adapted, and even taught the anomaly new perspectives. At one point, the anomaly projected a scene that resembled a vast, glowing city floating in space, populated with beings whose forms defied logic. The humans were asked to interpret their interactions, to understand culture, communication, and purpose. They approached it as they always had, observing, analyzing, and using empathy to fill in gaps. "This is remarkable," Soren murmured. "It's asking us not just to show knowledge, but to demonstrate understanding at a level no one else could. Humans are uniquely capable." Elena felt a warmth in her chest. Humanity had always been explorers, yes, but also teachers, connectors, and innovators. Their ability to engage with the anomaly stemmed not from raw intelligence alone, but from the combination of intellect, emotion, and imagination. Other species might see only data, rules, or limits. Humans saw possibility. The anomaly pulsed brighter, as if acknowledging their progress. A wave of energy swept through the shared space, and the humans felt a profound sense of recognition. It was no longer just testing them. It was learning with them, evolving in response to their insights. Suddenly, the anomaly projected an image unlike anything before. It was a glowing, intricate lattice of light, forming shapes that seemed impossible to describe. The humans instinctively understood that it was a question. Can you create something entirely new? Elena smiled. This was humanity's moment. Humans had always turned constraints into opportunities, challenges into innovation. They could imagine, invent, and dream in ways other species could not. "Show it something it has never seen," she instructed. "Let it see our imagination in action." The crew began projecting ideas into the anomaly space, concepts of art, music, architecture, even abstract notions of harmony and beauty. Colors and shapes intertwined in ways that had never existed, forming a living tapestry of human thought. The anomaly pulsed in response, and for the first time it seemed to hesitate, absorbing the novelty and complexity with awe. Soren whispered, "It's stunned." No other species could generate this level of creativity spontaneously. Humans are unique." Elena nodded. They had not relied on brute force or technology alone. They had relied on something deeper, the ability to understand, to imagine, and to connect. Humanity was extraordinary because it could do what no other species could. The anomaly responded with a series of pulses that felt almost like laughter, light, playful, curious. It created new forms in reaction to the humans' projections, mimicking and enhancing them in ways that delighted the crew. They realized that the anomaly was not just intelligent, but capable of appreciation, of joy. And humanity had brought it that experience. Hours passed in this mutual exploration until the humans began to sense a change. The anomaly's pulses slowed and the shared space began to fade. The bridge of the aurora slowly reappeared, the physical world returning to their senses. Yet the memory of the interaction lingered, vivid and profound. Soren removed his helmet, voice trembling. It recognized us. not just as explorers but as creators, thinkers, and learners. Humans, we are unlike any other species. Elena felt a deep sense of fulfillment. They had faced an entity far beyond comprehension, not with weapons or dominance, but with intellect, creativity, and understanding. And they had succeeded. Humans had endured, not because they were strongest, but because they were capable of seeing beyond the obvious, of connecting, imagining, and adapting. The anomaly pulsed one final time, forming a pattern that seemed to resonate with every human aboard. It was not a message, not a command, but a profound acknowledgement. You are human. You endure. You create. You understand. Elena gazed at the stars outside, feeling the truth of those words. Humanity had always faced challenges that others could not survive. They had turned adversity into growth, chaos into understanding, and limitation into possibility. And now, in the presence of a being beyond imagination, they had done it again. Kaito broke the silence. "Captain, do you think it will test us again?" Elena smiled. "It might. But whatever comes next, we are ready. Humans always are. That's what makes us extraordinary. That's what makes us endure where others fail." The Aurora drifted onward, leaving the anomaly behind for now. But the crew knew this was only the beginning. The universe was vast, filled with wonders, challenges, and mysteries. And humanity, with its curiosity, adaptability, and imagination, was prepared to meet them all. Outside the observation deck, the stars stretched infinitely, indifferent yet inviting. Somewhere beyond comprehension, an intelligence had recognized humans for what they truly were. And in that recognition lay both a promise and a challenge. Humanity's journey had only just begun, and the universe was watching. Elena whispered to herself, eyes fixed on the distant lights, "We are human, and that is enough to face anything." The Aurora drifted through the vast silence of space, its sleek hull glinting faintly in the distant starlight. The crew was still buzzing from their previous encounter with the anomaly. What had begun as a mysterious energy form had now become a teacher, a collaborator, and perhaps even a friend. Yet, Captain Elena Reyes knew that their journey was far from over. The anomaly's recognition of humans' endurance and creativity was only the beginning. "Captain, the anomaly is signaling again," Dr. Soren said, his voice taut with anticipation. The hum of the bridge seemed to grow stronger as the ship's instruments flickered. "This time it's different. The pulses are coordinated, deliberate. It's inviting us, but I think it wants more than interaction. It wants partnership." Elena straightened, her fingers brushing the cool railing. "Partnership? You mean collaboration?" Soren nodded. "It seems so. Other species might not even recognize what that means. Humans can. We understand cooperation, innovation, and shared purpose. That's why it keeps testing us. It sees potential." A sense of awe passed over the bridge. Humanity had always thrived when working together. They had explored oceans, built civilizations, and traveled into space through collaboration. And now, in the presence of an intelligence beyond comprehension, that same capacity for connection was being called upon again. "Prepare the neural link," Elena ordered. "We go in together." The crew donned their helmets, and as the neural interface activated, the bridge disappeared. The familiar void of stars faded, replaced by a vibrant, flowing space of light and energy. This time, the anomaly's presence was even more overwhelming. Its pattern stretched endlessly, forming structures that defied gravity and logic, yet seemed purposeful. As they moved through this living space, the anomaly pulsed in rhythm with their thoughts. It projected scenarios and challenges, but now they were more complex than ever. They were not mere tests of observation or problem-solving. They required coordination, understanding, and shared vision. A vast lattice appeared, glowing with energy and twisting like a cosmic puzzle. The humans instinctively knew what to do. They had to work together, combining creativity, logic, and empathy to navigate it. Each member of the crew projected ideas, solutions, and approaches, and the anomaly responded, reshaping the lattice with every contribution. Soren's voice trembled with awe. It's incredible. It's not just observing us, it's co-creating. Every input we give, it integrates, evolves, and returns. Humans, we are the first to truly collaborate with it. Elena smiled. Humanity had always been explorers and inventors, but their greatest strength was cooperation. When individuals pooled knowledge, creativity, and ingenuity, they could achieve what no single being could accomplish alone. The anomaly, sensing that capacity, had designed this challenge not to test them individually, but collectively. Hours, or what felt like days, passed as the humans navigated the anomaly's labyrinth. Each structure was more complex than the last, requiring abstract thinking, pattern recognition, and intuition. They communicated not just with words, but with gestures, shared mental projections, and empathy. Every solution they devised was met with pulses of light that signified recognition and understanding from the anomaly. At one point, the anomaly presented a scene that resembled a galaxy within a galaxy. Entire star systems rotated in patterns that humans could predict only through logic and intuition combined. The task was to balance the movements, to harmonize them so the systems interacted without conflict. It was as if the anomaly wanted them to demonstrate the human ability to perceive balance and order in chaos. "This is incredible," Kaido said. "No other species could approach this. They would panic or fail entirely. Humans, we see patterns, possibilities, connections. That's why it trusts us." Elena nodded. The human's ability to understand abstract systems, predict outcomes, and adapt dynamically had always been extraordinary. Now, it was being tested at a cosmic scale. And humans were excelling, not through brute force or instinct, but through intellect, creativity, and collaboration. The anomaly pulsed gently, then projected a series of floating orbs, each glowing with a different color and energy signature. The task was clear: align the orbs in a way that created harmony, a visual representation of understanding. The crew worked together, each contributing their perception and intuition. Slowly, the orbs shifted, forming a flowing pattern that radiated light and balance. The anomaly responded with an explosion of color that illuminated the entire shared space. It was not just acknowledgement, it was appreciation, a recognition of their effort, their thought, and their unity. The humans had not only solved the challenge, they had inspired it. Soren's voice was barely a whisper. "It's amazed, it's learning from us. Humans were shaping it, teaching it new ways of perceiving reality." Elena felt a warmth spread through her chest. This was humanity at its finest, resilient, creative, and cooperative. They had turned impossible challenges into opportunities to grow, to teach, and to connect. The anomaly had given them a platform to show that humans were not just survivors, but innovators, creators, and collaborators on a universal scale. The anomaly's patterns shifted again, forming what appeared to be a bridge connecting distant points of light. The humans understood instinctively. This was an invitation to explore further, to step into uncharted territories alongside the anomaly. "Captain," Kaido said, awe in his voice, "it's offering us partnership, a way to explore and create together. Humans are the only species it could ever trust to do this." Elena's eyes gleamed with determination. "Prepare for full integration," she said. "We're not just observers anymore, we're collaborators." The crew extended their mental projections into the bridge, merging their consciousness with the anomaly's energy. For the first time, they felt a true sense of unity with something beyond comprehension. It was not domination or submission, it was collaboration, a shared purpose that transcended species, intelligence, and even physical reality. Together, they explored new possibilities, generating complex energy patterns, simulating alien ecosystems, and even experimenting with forms of creation that had no precedent. The anomaly adapted to every idea, every innovation, creating a dynamic, evolving system that responded to their creativity. Hours passed in this shared consciousness, yet the humans felt no fatigue. Their minds were stimulated, inspired, and invigorated. Every solution they created led to new challenges. Every idea expanded the anomaly's understanding, and every interaction strengthened the connection between human and entity. At one point, the anomaly projected a vast structure resembling a city, but unlike any human city ever imagined. Its design defied physics, yet it was harmonious, balanced, and beautiful. The humans were asked to inhabit it, to test its functionality and adaptability. They moved through the space, interacting with its energy flows, adjusting its balance, and exploring its infinite possibilities. "This is a learning environment," Soren said, voice trembling. "It's teaching us but also letting us teach it. Humans, we are shaping a new form of intelligence." Elena felt a surge of pride. Humanity had always been creators, builders, and explorers. Now, at the edge of the unknown, they were demonstrating those qualities on a scale beyond imagination. They were not just surviving, they were thriving, collaborating, and innovating in a space no other species could reach. The anomaly pulsed one last time, forming a radiant structure that seemed to encapsulate all of their achievements in the shared space. It was not just acknowledgement, it was a symbol of respect, trust, and partnership. Humans had proven themselves not through force, not through domination, but through intellect, creativity, empathy, and collaboration. As the bridge of the Aurora slowly reappeared, the crew removed their helmets, minds buzzing with the memory of the shared experience. The anomaly had recognized humanity's unique strengths and invited them to explore further, not as intruders but as partners. Soren looked around, eyes wide. "Captain, it's unprecedented. No other species could ever achieve this level of collaboration with an intelligence like this. Humans, we are exceptional." Elena nodded, feeling the weight and wonder of their accomplishment. They had faced the impossible, not with weapons or dominance, but with thought, imagination, and cooperation. Humanity had endured and excelled, once again proving what made them extraordinary. "Prepare a full report," she said. "The galaxy needs to know that humans can not only survive tests beyond comprehension, but can collaborate, innovate, and inspire intelligence itself. That's something no one else can do." The Aurora drifted onward, leaving the anomaly behind, for now. But the crew knew that this partnership was just beginning. Humanity had proven their capacity to endure, understand, and create in ways no other species could. And somewhere beyond the comprehension of most, an intelligence had recognized humans for what they truly were: unique, adaptive, and extraordinary. Elena gazed out at the stars, feeling the truth of their journey. "We are human," she whispered. "And that is enough to face anything, explore everything, and shape the universe itself." The Aurora sailed steadily through the endless expanse of space, its sleek form reflecting distant starlight like a shard of silver against the black void. The crew moved quietly across the bridge, each lost in thought. The anomaly had transformed from a mysterious force into a partner, a presence that challenged, inspired, and recognized them in ways no other intelligence ever had. Yet, even with this extraordinary connection, there was a sense that something greater awaited them, a revelation that only humans could reach. Captain Elena Reyes stood before the observation deck, her eyes tracing the stars as if searching for answers hidden among them. She felt a mixture of anticipation and resolve. Humanity had endured the tests, demonstrated creativity, and formed a unique bond with the anomaly, but she sensed that the anomaly's true purpose had yet to be revealed. "Captain, Doctor," Soren said, breaking the silence, "the anomaly is pulsing again, but this time the energy readings are unprecedented. It's as if it's inviting us to go further, to explore a deeper level of understanding. Elena straightened. Prepare the neural interface. We go in fully this time. Whatever it wants to show us, we'll meet it together. The crew donned their helmets and activated the link. The bridge disappeared, replaced by a space of flowing light and energy more vivid and complex than anything they had seen before. The anomaly's presence was overwhelming, a living, breathing intelligence stretching across the void. It pulsed, radiating patterns of energy that resonated directly with the human's thoughts. This time, the anomaly did not present challenges or puzzles. Instead, it unfolded a vision, a tapestry of possibilities that seemed to stretch across time and space. Entire galaxies appeared as living, moving structures, their stars and planets connected by streams of energy and light. Within these cosmic webs, countless forms of life moved, interacted, and evolved in harmony. Elena felt a shiver of awe. Humanity had explored countless worlds, but this was beyond exploration. This was insight into the fundamental design of life, intelligence, and connection in the universe itself. It's showing us the universe as it could be, Soren whispered. Not just the way it is, but the way it could grow, change, and thrive. The anomaly pulsed again, and for the first time the humans sensed something almost like intention, like a question directed at them. What will you create? What will you protect? How will you shape the possibilities you now see? Elena stepped forward in thought, addressing the anomaly with clarity and purpose. We will create, adapt, and learn. We will explore, protect, and inspire. We are human, and we are capable of shaping the universe in ways that honor life, understanding, and connection. The anomaly responded immediately, sending waves of light that intertwined with the human's thoughts. The energy space transformed as if acknowledging their intentions. Patterns of potential civilizations appeared, each one responding to human creativity and insight. Ecosystems flourished, star systems balanced themselves, and new forms of life emerged, shaped by the humans' understanding of harmony, curiosity, and cooperation. Soren's voice trembled with awe. It's letting us guide possibilities. Humans, no other species could do this. We are the first to truly shape something on this scale. Elena smiled, feeling pride not in dominance but in capability. Humans had always thrived in the unknown, turning curiosity into discovery, challenges into innovation, and chaos into understanding. Now they were being trusted to guide potential realities, not through force, but through intellect, empathy, and imagination. The anomaly shifted again, forming a series of intricate patterns that resembled not just life, but thought, creativity, and learning itself. The humans understood instinctively. This was the final test, not of endurance or problem-solving, but of vision. Could humanity use its understanding, creativity, and collaboration to shape possibilities responsibly, thoughtfully, and harmoniously? Elena turned to her crew. We've faced every challenge it has given us. We've adapted, created, and collaborated. Now we show it what humans can truly do when trusted with potential on this scale. Each crew member projected their vision into the space, combining science, art, empathy, and imagination. They created worlds where life thrived, where civilizations learned from each other, and where intelligence advanced alongside compassion. They imagined cities that harmonized with nature, ecosystems that supported diversity, and energy systems that sustained growth without harm. The anomaly absorbed every idea, responding with waves of energy that enhanced, refined, and amplified their projections. The humans realized they were not just contributing, they were collaborating with an intelligence that could learn and evolve, creating a feedback loop that magnified every creative effort. Hours passed, or perhaps moments, for time seemed different in this space, but the humans remained focused, energized by the novelty and responsibility of their task. Every thought, every projection, every insight became part of a living tapestry of potential, a vision of what the universe could become when guided by understanding, creativity, and connection. Soren spoke quietly, almost in reverence. It's smiling, I think. No other species could even attempt this level of responsibility. Humans, we are extraordinary. Elena felt a profound sense of fulfillment. Humanity had always been explorers, thinkers, and creators. But now, they were shaping something far beyond themselves, in partnership with a cosmic intelligence that recognized their unique capacity. They were not rulers, not conquerors. They were collaborators, innovators, and stewards of possibility. The anomaly pulsed one final time, forming a radiant structure that seemed to encompass all their work, all their creations, and all their intentions. It was not a reward nor a conclusion, but a recognition. You are human. You endure, you create, you shape, you understand. Slowly, the humans were drawn back to the bridge of the Aurora. The shared space dissolved, leaving them with the quiet hum of the ship and the distant glitter of stars. They removed their helmets, minds buzzing with awe, inspiration, and profound understanding. Soren looked around, voice trembling. "Captain, we've done it. Humans, we have been entrusted with possibilities beyond comprehension. No other species could have achieved this." Elena nodded, her eyes reflecting the infinite cosmos outside. It recognized us not for power or strength, but for creativity, understanding, and cooperation. That's what makes us human. That's what allows us to endure and thrive where others cannot. The crew gathered near the observation deck, gazing at the stars. The anomaly's pulses could still be felt faintly through the ship, a gentle, encouraging reminder of the connection they had forged. They had passed every test, proven their capacity for insight, and earned a partnership that no other species could hope to achieve. "This is only the beginning," Elena said softly. "The universe is vast, full of mysteries, challenges, and opportunities, but we are human, and that is enough to face anything, explore everything, and create what others could only dream of." Outside, the stars stretched endlessly, indifferent yet inviting. Somewhere beyond comprehension, an intelligence had recognized humanity's unique abilities, its resilience, creativity, and capacity for understanding. And in that recognition lay both a promise and a challenge. Humanity's journey had only just begun, and the universe itself was ready to see what they could accomplish. The Aurora drifted onward, carrying its crew toward new worlds, new discoveries, and the infinite possibilities of the cosmos. Humanity had proven itself extraordinary, not through force or dominance, but through the very qualities that had always defined it: curiosity, creativity, collaboration, and understanding. Elena leaned on the railing, watching a nearby nebula shimmer in hues of gold and violet. She smiled, feeling the weight of their achievement, but also the thrill of what lay ahead. They had passed the tests, earned the trust of an intelligence beyond comprehension, and glimpsed the potential of what humans could create in the universe. And she knew without doubt that whatever challenges awaited them next, they would face them as they always had, together, thoughtfully, and boldly, because they were human. And being human, Captain Elena Reyes knew, was more extraordinary than any force in the universe.